4K 60 video capture is getting better and cheaper. Hey there, this episode of Some Gadget Guy is brought to you by viewers like you, all of the incredible people sharing content across social media, and the generosity of my patrons at patreon.com/SomeGadgetGuy. More info on those awesome nerds later in the video. I'm gonna keep this one short and sweet. ORICO sent this my way to test drive and review the SharpVid 4K capture card. It's a 2-input card you can use to record 4K footage up to 60 frames per second. And you'll have to pardon, I'm going to hold up this box as my prop for the video because I'm really using it to get this footage from my camera and record it on my computer. More on that in just a second. Walking around this metal shell, there's an HDMI input and an HDMI output, so this can sit in between your computer and your monitor. But in the middle, we also have a USB-C input, any device that can send video out through USB-C, like a laptop, a phone, or a tablet, can also be fed into the ORICO. On the opposite side, there's a switch to tell the SharpVid which of those two inputs you want to use. Then there's a microphone input, a line output to connect this to another audio recorder or mixer, and a line input if you want to route audio from another source. And lastly, a switch to toggle HDCP if there's any compatibility issues or copy protection problems. Now, the metal shell can get a little warm in operation, but I've run it for some really long stretches without any image degradation that I could detect, and no issues throttling down or shutting off. For anyone concerned, it might be worth mocking up a little stand so you can prop it up vertically, you get airflow on all sides, but I have not hit a thermal threshold yet. And you might have noticed that I'm already doing something a little cheeky. I'm recording the audio through my Messe boom mic. These are the 105 Silva headphones connected directly to the ORICO, and I'm dual recording from the ORICO into OBS on my computer, and I'm recording directly from my camera internally, and I've already been switching that video back and forth. You can tell me down in the comments if you can see any significant differences after this has been uploaded and compressed on YouTube. Now, this is the style of capture card that I like. No setup or driver, no specific program you have to use. In the past, I tried powering my streams with a gamer card, and that came with a lot of headaches. I switched instead to a more broadcast solution that's been bulletproof for years. And the ORICO card functions more like my little broadcast card. It's all on its own, but with a few more streamer-centric features. I really don't care about pretty RGBs on my capture card. I just want good footage, and not being tied to a specific program is really nice for that. It opens up some really fun potential, not just for gamers, but for other content creation, working directly with a camera and recording that, or using it to record online meetings, having a bit more control over your audio. The audio can be a bit tricky depending on what kind of microphone you're trying to plug into this thing. You can get a lot of air and a lot of hiss. There's a low output signal coming into the ORICO. You're going to be bumping up those levels and you're going to hear it. I'd really recommend using that line input. If you can feed it a more powerful source, that's really going to minimize the self noise that's generated by the little audio conversion bits inside this box. And also with capturing content, I found, jumping between a couple different computing devices, Windows would get a little finicky about screen mirroring with alternative aspect ratios and resolutions. But screen extending worked without a hitch, where Windows could just make a new 16:9 4K display. The box talked to Windows, there weren't any issues there. So this looks a little spendy up front, I appreciate that. But for full 4K 60 recording, I think we're in good territory. The dual video inputs are definitely handy. The audio routing is good. That's going to come down to what kind of microphones you can feed into it. I think it makes sense why this is demanding a bit more of a price premium. It's the thing that's always bugged me about capture cards, the near useless string of specs and resolution and tech that don't really mean anything in device descriptions. All the capture cards that say, this supports 4K 60, but then it only records 1080p. We don't care about supporting a resolution. We care about recording that resolution. There are a few simpler options that are a little less expensive. There are a few popular brands that are going to be more expensive. And I think ORICO is in a good sweet spot here. It's refreshing to see this offered at near the same price I paid for my 1080p capture card like 6 years ago. So I will, of course, leave some information down below, links where you can find more information, maybe shop the SharpVid 4K capture card online. Really handy stuff for you folks out there trying to do some fun things with video or game streaming. As always, thanks so much for watching, for sharing these videos, subscribing to the channel. All the support lately has been amazing, but this list of names scrolling by on your screen right now, a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart. These are the folks that are helping to keep the lights on here in the Gadget Lab. They're basically the coolest tech pals in the universe, so I hope you'll check them out. I hope you'll consider joining the community at patreon.com/SomeGadgetGuy. Now, you know where you can find me across the rest of the internet, at SomeGadgetGuy, basically everywhere, but these days, trying to spend a bit more time on the Mastodons and a lot less so on the Facebooks, Threads, Instagrams, and none at all on that dumpster fire site. And I will catch you all on the next review.